you were one of like the most like on point Marines that I've ever met. Not saying like you're rules. It was like, the base, how people just can't do the basics. Like Americans, the civilians don't understand how disgusting the military actually is. It's so gross. You got fat asses. You got people that can't even fucking run. It's like their only job is to like literally run. They can't fucking run. And they like fake their sit-up scores and they fake other pull-up scores. It's like, bro,
oh my God,
literally, if you just did it, it would require less effort and being sneaky and just do it. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. And they don't see all that. They don't see all like the infidelity, the people cheating, the fucking each other left and right, right? God, it's disgusting. That's like our tax money. It's like our tax money is funding orgies, basically. Like you're nothing like that. Obviously, the orgy part, you were part of that, but I'm kidding. But you're nothing like that. You're super on point. Like whenever someone said to do something, you would do it. I never saw you getting out. I really thought that you'd stay in for a long time. Initially, did you want to stay in for a long time in that MOS? And then if you did, what was the turning point?
I really did. In 2017, 2018, at least seeing myself re-enlist and seeing my 8 years obligated service all the way through on active duty. The COVID stuff, that whole time frame, it really put an emotional toll on me, seeing how, like, I honestly try to think about it hard sometimes, to think about what, those years in 2016, 17, and 18 were like compared to after that, whenever COVID hit. And like, it just felt like that was all gone. Like, and then including the social aspect into it, everybody's afraid, including family members, feeling that kind of isolation. Like the people that would get COVID or be, it's questionable if they are sick or not. Seeing how some of them got literally forgotten about in barracks rooms and they would not get food for 3 days. I was on Camp Lejeune. I'm sure some stuff similar to that happened in, any base, but it's just like, how can the organization turn so quickly from, what felt like close order, discipline, to everybody's pitted against each other now. Also seeing the operational aspect just completely fall to the ground. The essential personnel were the ones that had to still show up to work, but anyone that was non-essential essentially got like a 3-month vacation where they were just getting paid twice a month to stay in their barracks room, work out, get drunk as often as possible. And then once everything came back to normal, those people that worked the whole thing either getting only like an extra day off on a Monday. Whenever all that stuff was happening, I was just kind of having some personal stuff going on in my life outside of anything military, that I was just like, if I do another 4 years here, or even if I, PCS, get out of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, I was like, I feel like most of this stuff is just going to either come back around again at some point, or it's going to just continue to get worse from here. I just figured keep my nose down, write out my last, year and a half, 2 years honorably, have my disagreements, but, I'm still there. It's not like I can just walk out. I was a sergeant, so I had the responsibility of at least passing on what I had to them. So I just kind of used that as my final salute and got out peacefully.
Did you take the vaccine?
I did not. That was part of what had me ready to get out real fast in a hurry, is because I think it was December of 2020 is whenever Trump's administration said they got the vaccine. So I was like, all right, it's just a matter of time. By this point, I already had my doubts and disagreements and worries about it. So I was hoping, because I don't have the choice in the military of what shot I'm going to get. Please just, January 10th, hurry up.
Get the Russian one.
And seeing what had happened to my friends that were still left in, I know a lot of them that they were completely against it, but they didn't want to get a dishonorable and other non-honorable and worry about it risking potentially the rest of their lives, or at least a large portion of it. I mean, I couldn't imagine how stressful that would have been staying in. So I was for sure in the back of my head like, this is the final nail in the coffin. Like, no large amount of bonus could talk me into staying in. So January 10th came and I went.
You participated in the protests too, right? The riots, and I'm just kidding.
What's funny though is I had gone to DC the year prior whenever I went to Force Fitness Instructor course, and I went from Quantico up to
I remember that,
Washington DC, and there was a protest against Trump going on outside the White House, and I got a picture just like.
That's so funny. I'm using Chat-GPT right now. I don't know if you've ever used it. Have you?
I've heard about some of the stuff it comes up with. I've not used it though.
It's crazy, man. And honestly, it's kind of scary. It's frightening, but it's exciting. So I'm using Chat-GPT right now, and we grew up in a time where when we were younger, like, did you have dial-up internet when you were?
I had AOL. My dad had AOL.
It was super slow, right? It was like incredibly slow. Like when you were like on the internet and someone like picked up the phone, do you remember like the internet just not working or the phone not working? Yeah, that was dial-up. And man, it's crazy how fast everything is now, right? You can download movies in like 5 minutes, or games. You have a gaming computer, so you can download a game in like 5 minutes depending on your internet connection. We grew up in a time where we're transitioning into the Google period where you could just Google stuff, right? When we were in school, those teachers were saying, hey, don't use Wikipedia. Wikipedia's a new thing. We're like, what is that? You know, start Wikipediaing everything. Wikipedia, it's like this open, publicly funded thing where it's pretty much kept tabs on like history and like biographies and just information and technologies. Like if you look up a car, you can look up like, but I would look up a Mazda and then it'd show me like every edition of the Mazda throughout the years, what's changed, all that stuff. It's really cool, just great at keeping information. Well, when we were growing up in school, elementary, middle school, high school, we were told Wikipedia is not, you know, it's not consistent.
Reliable.
Yeah, don't use it. Yeah, yeah. And it's still to this day, like you can go and change something, but it like has like a little bit more moderation and stuff, quickly, right? Yeah. I went to like how many genders there are. I tried to like delete it or something, and I also like it didn't like accept it. Someone had to approve it, but then I saw the revisions and someone had deleted it. It got approved, and then someone like re-added it and stuff back. It was funny. It's just like I think there's a constant war on the gender Wikipedia page. Now we're in the new age where like, you know, we're the adults, the young adults and adults that are growing up, and like we're gonna like pretty much distance ourselves from technology. We're gonna be like, how the heck like I feel old. I'm in tech and I feel old when I'm like using a computer. How does this work? I'm like, dude, what happened? I used to be so brilliant in this stuff. Well, with Chat-GPT, we no longer have to go to libraries anymore and like go to EBSCO host and databases and stuff. Chat-GPT is our new Google. So what I asked it, this is when we were talking about COVID, I was like, how many service members refused COVID and were forced out of the US military? And it said, as an AI language model, I do not have access to real-time information or specific data regarding the number of service members who refused COVID-19 vaccines and were subsequently discharged from the US military. However, as of October 19, 2021, the DoD reported that over 95% of active duty service members had received at least one dose of vaccine, with the vaccination rate varying by branch and location. The military has implemented vaccine mandates with exemptions for medical or religious reasons. Refusal to comply with a mandate can result in disciplinary action, which could include discharge. The exact number of personnel discharged for non-compliance is not publicly available, but if 95% of those service members received that vaccine, active duty one, as of 2021, we had 1.3 million active duty, right? So that's 65,000 people that I would say just lower, 60,000 people that refused the vaccine. When I got out last year, I saw a lot of people getting out, refusing the vaccine. When I was in, I was told like, if you refuse the vaccine, you're gonna get kicked out. And I was like, dude, I don't want to get a dishonorable. You know, that was in my mind. I was like, dude, I don't want to get a dishonorable. I want to serve my country. I took an oath. I guess I'll freaking take it. You know, all that pressure of like, dude, just take it. You're in the military. And I even said the same thing. I was like, guys, just take it. You're in the military. Like, don't be a freaking douchebag, dishonorable, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, I found out when I was getting out in January, I went to these like the separations platoon or whatever in California. All these people were getting out and they had just gotten in 6 months ago or a year ago. They barely served. Like they just got to Japan, they got all this stuff there, and then they like got back out, and they were getting like honorable or other than honorable. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's honorable. But then they had all their benefits. They had like everything. I was like, dude, they hit the jackpot. They literally like, yeah. And you know, they're probably gonna freaking file for VA disability and PTSD or something like that. So they're gonna get like all their benefits. They're gonna go to college. They basically had a free scholarship to college, refusing the vaccine. And then they're probably going to freaking file for PTSD and 100% disability. So they're going to make like $40,000 a year, go to college, doing absolutely nothing. I'm like, dude,
run that bag.
Holy crap. I hate you guys. I hate all of you. And then from that, when in January, I was like, dude, all these people are getting out there. I was in separations platoon. It was probably about, I don't know, like 80 people I saw there in the 2 weeks. There's a bunch of fat asses. There's people that my roommate like stabbed someone and murdered someone. I can't remember. And I was like, I'm a nice guy. I was like, oh, take him to go get tacos. And he's like kind of crazy in my car. He's like, man, I would just kill that guy. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to my house. Like, yeah, I'm glad it's my last night because I like locked all my like laptops in my trunk and then like with like sleep. I'm like, I don't want him to freaking wake up in my night like a knife's in my throat. Yeah, the guy got out on like a dishonorable discharge, obviously. But man, I wouldn't even be surprised if he was honorable at this point, as long as he took the vaccine or something. You know, freaking heck. I was so scared. I was like, man, dishonorable. And then there's people that I knew that was like, dude, I don't want to take this vaccine. Like, I'm just so adamant about it and stuff. And they ended up taking it because they were so scared to get kicked out or their clearances or whatever. And it's really sad. But now, I don't know if you saw the emails or like the Marine Corps Instagram page. Did you see that?
Recruiting's at an all-time low.
It's crazy.
They couldn't beg people to re-enlist. I've seen it for other branches too, Army, Navy. Those are, from what I've seen, that I'm basing my opinion on, the Army and the Navy have considerably weaker leadership than the Marine Corps. Not that the Marine Corps is really any better, but the gross negligence that I've seen in like stuff like Navy ships are like flying the flag upside down first, and then they're like, oh, it's the wrong way. Like, yeah, someone whose job is like literally to do this, yeah, they just accidentally did that. And for that to be the first time something like that's happened like routinely with this many ships and stuff, the Department of Defense is very unbalanced, and it kind of worries me because that's part of the future of this nation is a healthy military.
You know, what's really sad is that we get all government, anything related to government, we get money from Congress.